Good morning and welcome and happy Tuesday if you're joining me live, or happy whatever day it is if you are watching this at your convenience. I'm glad that we are able to provide these videos to you to practice your yoga. Even though there are not other places to studios and gyms to go to, you still have us here on Exercise with Charlotte. So today's practice is a 1-hour yoga practice, and we are continuing to build on this series of yoga practices that focus on one of the chakras. So this is the fourth in a series. We started with the root chakra and moved our way up, and the last sequence I posted was for the heart chakra. And I mentioned that the heart chakra is kind of the link between the 3 physical chakras below and the 3 metaphysical chakras above. So today is the first of those metaphysical chakras, and that is the throat chakra, which is a kind of apropos for this week being Thanksgiving week, and maybe we're going to put a lot of stuff down our throat on Thursday, or maybe not. Maybe you're going to keep it small. I know my gathering is going to be small this year, and we're actually not going to cook a turkey on Thursday. We are going to do a traditional, what would have been on the menu for the very first Thanksgiving, and we're going to do some fish and seafood on Thursday and save our turkey for a later time. All right, so props that you need today for our 1-hour practice. If you need some cushioning for your knees, we will have some poses on the knees. So have a knee pad or garden pad or a hand towel, or if you're on carpet in your own home, that's probably good. You can even fold over your own yoga mat. We have 2 poses at the very end when we're lying on our backs, where we're going to put a cushion or a yoga block behind our body. So I have both of those available. I'll show both options, either a small pillow or a yoga block. We'll be placing it behind our shoulder blades for one pose and under our hips for another pose. And you don't even need it. You could go without it if you don't have anything at all. You could use a rolled up towel even. All right, so the throat chakra, the color is blue, and I'm wearing blue on my leggings today. The element is the ether. So above the clouds, that space, the ether, almost getting up into outer space. And the characteristics of the throat chakra are communication and expression, everything that starts with our voice box in the throat, and especially speaking the truth, something that we all need to hear all the time, just the truth. All right, let's go into our hand gesture, which is a hand gesture that is specific for the throat area, and it's often called the laughter mudra, but its full name is Udana Vayu. So bring all your fingertips to your thumb, except leave the pinky hanging out on both hands. Draw your elbows into your waistline. I'll back up so you can still see my hands. And relax your shoulders. Close your eyes for a moment. And maybe think of something amusing or funny that might make you giggle or laugh. For me, my dog just decided, my foster dog, decided to chew up a hot pink highlighter marker. And guess what? That makes me laugh, because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Think of something funny and give yourself just a little ha 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 ha, and let that feeling come from your throat. Relax your hands, shake it out, and we're going to go into a breath pose first. So I'm not going to back up. I'm even going to come a little bit closer to make sure that you can hear how we're going to do this breath pose. It's called Ujjayi breath, and it's also called a victory breath. So let's start by describing the exhale part of the breath. Relax your arms down, relax your shoulders, and go ahead and bring one hand up in front of your mouth. I'll turn sideways. Pretend it's a mirror. And with your mouth open, imagine you want to fog up the mirror. Do that again. And now take your hand away, close your lips, and do that same exhalation. Let it feel warm in the back of your throat. Remember that feeling you did with your mouth open. If you want to do it one more time with the mouth open, just to remember how it feels. But But then close your mouth and do that exhalation, fogging up the mirror. I'll get even closer. So hopefully you heard that. Maybe you felt the vibration in your throat, that little warm feeling in the back of your throat on that exhalation. Now let's describe the inhale. So the inhale, imagine there's a straw all the way in the back of your throat and you're sipping in air through the straw. Now on this one it's a little more difficult because if we try to force it, we kind of gag with it. So don't do that. Make it real gentle. Let the throat really relax. Imagine that straw in the back of your throat and very slowly and gently sip in the air on the inhalation. Do it again. Again, feeling that vibration, that air movement in the throat. And now let's put them together for our Ujjayi breath. Inhale, sip the air. Exhale, fog the mirror. Lips stay closed. Do it again. I'm going to get closer so you can hear me. Keep that going as much as you can during today's practice, especially when we're warming up the spine and we don't have to focus a lot on alignment and pose. We're just kind of moving the spine around and we're going at our own pace. Really focus on using that Ujjayi breath while we're doing some of our poses, and especially our warm-up. I'm going to back up so you can see me head to toe. Make the number 11 with your feet, 2 parallel sticks, and we'll start with elongation. So start to lift your arms up high up above your head and then relax the arms down. If you can, use that Ujjayi breath. Go at your own pace. Bend the knees if you want. Add some lower body. Do one more wherever you are. And roll those shoulders back. Remember that our color today is blue. So think about that image that we have of the chakras being little balls of energy from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. So imagine at your throat a blue ball of energy. Think of it spinning and creating energy with a blue aura all through today's practice. Let's go into our second set of spinal warm-ups, standing cat and cow. Bend your knees, bend your hips, draw your navel in, tuck the chin. Exhale as you round the back and hug a giant tree. And then inhale, pinch the shoulder blades together, lift the heart. Go at your own pace now. Standing cat, standing cow. Create the serpentine motion with your spine. And if you can, add that Ujjayi breath. Stimulating that throat chakra and activating that blue ball of energy. One more time. And release to mountain, standing tall. We're going to go into a lateral motion of the spine now. So that you don't tip over, just set your feet a tiny bit wider than your hips. Let your right hand remain on the right thigh for stability. Left arm up to the sky. And begin your lateral flexion. Just moving the spine to the side. Don't lean forward. And if you can, once again, once you have this motion going, take your normal breath pattern into that Ujjayi breath. Think about your breath here. Think about that blue ball of energy as you feel that motion, that vibration, that air movement in the throat. Let's do one more. And release. We'll go into the other side, and then we're going to add a static lateral flexion on both sides today. So place your left hand on the left thigh, right hand to the sky. Keep this left shoulder down, and start that motion, lateral flexion. Just moving to the side. Imagine that you're opening up the right side body. You'll automatically collapse between the rib cage and hip on the other side, but you don't have to think about that part. All you need to think about is the opening. And add that Ujjayi breath if you can. One more. and release back to mountain with our wide feet. But we're going to change the feet for our static lateral flexion if you want. You don't have to. You can keep your feet where they are, and you can come into your lateral flexion. Or if you want to go a little deeper, take this left foot just slightly behind the right. Not very far. It's not a curtsy. It's not a lunge. And now place your right hand on your hip, left hand up to the sky. Find your balance and come into your static lateral flexion. Feeling that stretch all the way down the side body. Tip your chin up slightly to open through the throat. Not enough to compress the back of the neck, just to open through the throat. Release the pose. Come back to parallel sticks if you added that change in the foot pattern. And we'll go to the other side. You can keep your number 11 feet and start your lateral flexion. Or if you want to join me in that deeper expression, take your right foot behind the left, just slightly. Left hand on the hip, right hand to the sky, and start to tilt your body into your static lateral flexion. Really feel that space all the way down the right side body, from the armpit, down through the rib cage area, the latissimus dorsi, the waistline, into the hip. One more breath cycle. And release up, come back to the number 11. And let's finish off with slow motion sprinter for our rotation today. Keep your knees soft. We're not bending into a squat. We're just keeping them soft so we don't hyperextend. Shoulders down. Draw your right arm forward, straighten elbow, and draw your left arm back, bent elbow, and then switch. Twisting through the rib cage. Engage the abdominal muscles to be strong through the center body. Making sure our breath is going with the motion. As you pass through center, exhale, and then you'll automatically inhale when your arms pause briefly at the change. One more each arm. And release to center. Roll those shoulders back. We've got some more warm-ups today. We're going to add some more warm-ups for this upper part of the body, including the head and throat area, since we're focusing on that throat chakra. So cradle the back of your head. Your elbows are sticking straight out to the side. So don't draw your elbows forward like this. Keep them open and out to the side. Relax the shoulders down. And just with a very slight pressure of your fingertips on the back of your skull, tuck your chin down and lift it back up. Tuck it down as you exhale. Inhale, lift it back up. Feel that nice stretch on the back of the neck. You can close your eyes if you like. If that doesn't make you too dizzy. Keep your balance. One more. Release. Keep your hands where they are and feel that ridge at the base of your skull. Makes a little turn downwards and start to massage the area just underneath that ridge. The ridge is called the occipital ridge, and what we're getting here is these suboccipitals. Little massage. Should feel pretty good. Just using the pressure of your index fingers, whatever's right for you. Take one more breath cycle. And release your arms down. Roll those shoulders back. Just a few more warm-ups here for this upper part of the body. We're going to add some neck turns and some neck tilts. Shoulders relaxed, ribcage lifted. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn your face to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn your face to the left. Go at your own pace. Use that ujjayi breath again if you can, if you're comfortable with that. If it's not comfortable for the inhale, because that is the part that gets a little tense in the inhale, you can just do the exhale, do a normal inhale, and do the fogging up the mirror exhale. So you can do half of the ujjayi breath. Let's do one more to each side. And then pause with your face turned towards the right. Shoulders relaxed. If you want to add just a tiny enhancement here, take your right index finger, place it on your left cheekbone, and add the pressure of one finger. Release. Turn your face towards the left. Pause here for a static hold. And if you want that little enhancement, take your left index finger, place it on your right cheekbone, and add the pressure of one finger. And release. Stay centered, and we'll go into some neck tilts. Bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. Inhale, center, and then exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, center. Only the head is moving. So as you draw down towards the shoulder, don't draw the shoulder up like this. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Just passing through center, drawing the ear towards the shoulder and stretching the sides of the neck. Keep breathing. Use that Ujjayi breath if you can. One more each side. Pause at center and we'll add our static hold. So go ahead and exhale the right ear to the right shoulder. Hold here. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Take your left hand and stretch your fingertips out at a diagonal so the arms kind of at a 45-degree angle away from the body. Breathe. Release. Bring the head back to center and we'll take it to the other side. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Take those right fingertips, reach down and away. Could be at a 45 angle or maybe a little bit closer to the hip. You pick. You can experiment. Feel what's right for your body. One more breath cycle. And release. Roll those shoulders back. We're going to go into a standing sequence here that uses the long end of the mat. It'll start with chair squat, so we'll be facing the skinny end of the mat. But then it goes into side angle and triangle and warrior two. So on those poses, we'll be using the long end of the mat, but facing off towards the left. So I'm going to start with my chair squat, facing the skinny end of the mat, and I've got my side view to you. But then on those other poses, my face will be turned towards the device and will be mirror images of each other if you have your mat set up the same way. So just face off towards the skinny end of your mat. Make the number 11 with your feet. Make sure you're towards the top of your mat so you have room to step backwards on the side angle and warrior poses. Bring your hands to heart center. Tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold from the hips and land your hands on your thighs or maybe just below the knees to the shins. Make the letter L with your body. Don't hang your head. Think about your throat being open so your nose is pointing forward. Don't lock out your knees here. You can push your bottoms away from you, but keep a little softness to the knees. Half forward fold. Relax the shoulders. Feel that stretch in the back body. Keep the throat open. One more breath cycle. And now bend the knees. Sink into your chair squat. Tuck your tail between your legs and reach your arms forward. I'm going to back up just a step here so my arms don't touch that wall. Keep that tail tucked. And we are in our chair squat. Transitioning to twisted chair. Right hand, right thigh, left arm to the sky, opening towards the left. Keep this right shoulder relaxed. Breathe. If you want to add a little shoulder stretch, take that left hand that's up in the air and place the back of the hand on the low back. Getting a little stretch to the front of the left shoulder. One more breath cycle. Return to chair, arms forward, and then place your hands on your right thigh. Both hands on the right thigh, so we can step the left foot back. Drop the heel down. Check the alignment of your heels. You want your heels to be on a balanced beam. Your back leg is straight, and your front leg is bent, keeping the knee over the second toe. Keep your right hand on your right thigh. Lift your left arm up to the sky. You can stay here at baby side angle, or you can start to transition a little bit lower, bringing that right rib cage closer to your thigh by coming onto the forearm. Or maybe bringing your hand to your calf, your ankle, or your foot. You pick. Side angle pose. You can keep those fingertips up in the air, or you can bring them over your head for a deeper stretch. One more breath cycle. And we're going to transition to triangle. Let's start with baby triangle. So if you brought that right hand down, lift it back up to the thigh, fingertips straight up to the sky, and now straighten this right knee. Letting your right hand just rest on the right thigh. You can stay here, baby triangle, or you can come a little deeper, drawing that hand below the knee to the calf, the ankle, the foot. Keep those fingertips straight up to the sky. Press a beach ball between your inner thighs. Tilt your chin slightly to keep the throat open. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Bend your right knee and come back to side angle, lifting that arm back up to the thigh. We're going to transition to warrior two now, so use your core strength, squeeze your navel, and lift your body up to a T. Roll your shoulders back, keep that right shoulder pushed back, keeping that arm directly over that bent right knee. Beautiful warrior twos. We're going to go into reverse warrior two 4 times, and really think about opening through the throat area. Keep that chin elevated, not all the way up so you're crunching the back of your neck, but just keep that chin slightly above level today. Inhale, reverse your warrior, right hand up, return to your T. Second time, inhale, reverse, look up at your fingers, and come back to your T. Third time, inhale, look up at your fingers, return to the T. Last time, inhale, reverse, and back to your T. Now we're going to come up into star pose, so all the arms lift up, and the knee straightens, both knees straighten. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, warrior two. Line it up. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, warrior two. Twice more. Inhale, lifting. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, star. Exhale, warrior two. And transition back to feet together. So soften both knees and step that left foot forward. Prance it out. Same sequence, opposite side. I'm going to go to the other end of my mat so that when we turn into those side-facing poses like side angle and warrior two, I'll be looking directly at the screen. If you've got yours set up the same way, I'm calling out your right and your left. So make the number 11 with your feet, standing tall. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, fold from the hips. Land your hands on your thighs or your shins. Push your bottoms back. Keep the knees soft. Don't lock out those knees. And keep your nose forward. Open through the throat. Relax your shoulders. Breathe. One more breath cycle. Bend the knees. Tuck your tail between your legs and sweep the arms forward for chair pose. Utkatasana. Breathe. Transitioning to twist our chair. Left hand on the left thigh. Right hand opens up to the sky. Relax that left shoulder down. Breathe. Think about spiraling the armpit open. And if you want that extra little stretch, place the back of the right hand to the low back. And we're stretching the front of the right shoulder, the anterior deltoid. One more breath cycle. Come back to chair squat, and then place both hands on your left thigh. A little stability as we step the right foot back and drop the heel down. Check out your alignment. If you want to shimmy that foot back a little, you can. Align your front knee, going over the second toe, and we're setting up for side angle. So you can keep your hand on your thigh to start with. We'll start with a baby side angle, just like we did on the other side. Sweeping that right arm up to the sky. And now the more we draw this left rib cage down towards the thigh, the deeper we go into the pose. So you can come onto the forearm, or maybe draw the hand to the calf, the ankle, or the foot or mat. If you want that deeper stretch down the side body, allow that arm to reach over the ear. Breathe. Keep that chin slightly elevated. Open the throat. and transitioning to baby triangle. So bring that left hand back up to the thigh, straighten the knee. Your left hand is just brushing the inside of your left thigh. Baby triangle, keep that chest spiraled open. If you want to go deeper, take that left hand down to the calf, the ankle, or the foot. Squeeze a beach ball between your inner thighs, but don't squeeze your toes onto the mat. Wiggle your toes. One more breath cycle. Bend your left knee. Bring the hand back up. We're transitioning to warrior two, using your core strength. Engage your navel. Inhale, lift up to your T. Check in with your left knee. Make sure it didn't flop inwards. Throw that right shoulder back. Beautiful warrior twos. Aligning shoulders over your hips. Don't lean over your left knee like this. Don't fall forward and over that knee. Keep that upright torso. And we're going to reverse 4 times. Left hand up to the sky. Lift and back to your T. Second time. Lift. Energize through the throat. And lift. Picture that blue ball of energy right at your throat. And one more time. Reverse your warrior two. And return to your T. And now we'll transition to star. Keep that chin just slightly tilted up, feeling that blue ball of energy at the throat. Inhale, lift up, straightening the knee, opening the arms to the sky, and return to warrior two. Second time, inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, T. Twice more. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale. Fog up your mirror. And release the arms. Soften both knees and step the feet together. Prance it out at the center of your mat. All right, one more standing pose. It's camel pose. We did it for the heart chakra. Same benefit here. The heart chakra and the throat chakra are very close together. So a lot of the poses that benefit the heart chakra, you'll find benefit the throat chakra as well. So 3 standing camels. Starting with the number 11 on your feet, 2 parallel sticks. Make gentle fists. Close your fingertips onto your palms, but don't clench your palms like this. Keep them relaxed. Take your knuckles and place them at the top of your pelvis. Back view. And now let's lift the ribcage up. Push the shoulders down. Come into your back bend. Inhale. Exhale. And return to standing. Relax your hands. Twice more, changing the hands. This time take your thumbs. Place your thumbs at the top of your pelvis. Wrap the 4 fingers around the sides of the hips. Back view. Set up our long spine. Ribcage up, shoulders down. Inhale, come into your back bend. One more breath cycle. And release. Shake it out. Last one. This is the one you get the most support. So maybe go a little deeper, and we're going to take this one for 3 breath cycles. So 4 fingers downwards at the top of your pelvis. Thumbs wrap around the sides of the hips. Back view. Ribcage up, shoulders down. Come into your back bend. Take 1 breath cycle. And 2. And last one. And release on that last exhale. Shake it out. Go ahead and move those hips around. Go the other way. And we are going to take it down to hands and knee poses. This is the opportunity to move your device down lower. We're going to be on the mat for the remainder of the practice. So if you want to bring it down to the floor or to a stack of books, by all means, go ahead and do that. And then join me on the mat in table pose, hands and knees, quadruped. If you need a knee pad, you can grab a rolled up towel. You can double up your yoga mat or a gardening pad, whatever works for you. Make big stars with your hands. Wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath your hips. And we're going into cat and cow. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, round your back, tuck the chin. And then reverse, draw the belly down. open your throat chakra. Do that again. Cat and cow at your own pace. If you want, bend the elbows into that. Use your Ujjayi breath. Fog up the mirror. Sip through the straw. Do one more pattern, cat and cow. And then return to neutral spine. We're going to go into puppy pose. So crawl your hands towards the top of your mat. Spread your fingers wide. Lower your head between your arms. Lift your hips. Separate your shoulder blades as if you're trying to push your armpits away from each other. Keep your chin slightly tilted up. Don't compress the back of your neck, but keep the throat open. Melt the heart. Keep your hips up as you melt the heart. Puppy pose. One more breath cycle. Lower the elbows, and we're coming into Sphinx pose. So go ahead and come all the way down. You can leave your knee pad where it is for Sphinx pose. Let your toenails touch the mat, feet are relaxed. Set your elbows directly underneath your shoulders, and keep your palms open wide. We're going to go into Sphinx pose 3 times, and on the exhale, we're going to use an open mouth exhale, stimulating that throat chakra with a ha sound, as if you were fogging up that mirror with an audible sound this time. So press your pubic bone into the mat, your elbows stay on the mat, your pubic bone, your thighs, your knees, your toes, everything stays on the mat, and we're just growing through the shoulders. So take one preparatory breath cycle in and out. And now on your next inhale, lift up through the shoulders, and then exhale with the ha. Fog up your mirror. Twice more. Inhale, grow through the shoulders. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And now we're going to transition into downward facing dog. So bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, lift your chest, come onto your knees. We're still going to use our knee pad, so don't get rid of it yet. Crawling back into table pose, so we can transition into down dog. And I'm going to take my glasses off because my head's going to be hanging upside down. I'm afraid I'm just going to lose them, so I'm setting them off to the side. Step your toes back, curling the toes, exhale the hips to the sky, lift up through the armpits. And today on down dog, turn your head in a no gesture, side to side. Move the neck around. Keep lifting through the armpits. One more breath cycle. And we're going to transition to low lunge. Draw your right knee forward, and then step your right foot forward. Lower your left knee, adjust your mat if you need to, your pad, and take your left toenails to touch the mat. Bring both hands up to your thigh, lift the chest, and feel that deep stretch through that hip flexor. Shoulders relaxed. We're going to go into crescent lunge 3 times. We're not going to come all the way down to the mat. We're just going to take it from an up position with the arms to a forward position with the arms. You can keep your right hand resting on your right leg, or you can let both hands fly up to the sky. I'm going to do both arms. Inhale, lift up. Come into a baby back bend as you lift the rib cage, open the throat chakra, and then exhale, reach forward. Use your core strength for balance. 3 more times. Inhale, exhale, fog up the mirror. Inhale, sip through the straw. Exhale, fog up the mirror. Last one. Inhale, exhale, and bring both hands back to that thigh. We're going to transition into side plank. So take both hands to the mat, both knees to the mat. Transitioning via our table pose. Step your right foot back. Sorry, your left leg back. Take your right foot and kick it off to the right edge of the mat. Create that kickstand so that the lower leg of the right leg is at a little diagonal. Drop your left heel down and lift your left arm up. Low version of side plank. Breathe. We're going to add some motion for this left arm. Draw it towards the top of your mat. Circle it all the way up and around. Again, same direction. And now reversing the direction, 2 more. Backwards circle. Last one, backwards circle. And now we transition into wild thing. Very important, lift up through that right shoulder. Feel the pressure in the heel of your palm, pressing you up. That's very important for wild thing pose. Spiral your chest to look towards the ceiling. Let that left arm fall behind you. Baby version of wild thing, Kamakharasana. Breathe, keep lifting. If you feel any twisting that feels painful, back it off. 1 more breath cycle. And bring your hand back down, knees down. Take a brief child's pose here. You can roll out your wrists. We're going to do that sequence on the other side. I'm going to turn around to face the other way, just so that when we're inside plank, I'm facing towards the device. So let's come back into our table pose so that we can transition to downward dog. Step your feet back, spread your hands wide, exhale the hips to the sky, lift up through the armpits. Once again, move your head in a no gesture, slow and controlled. Breathe, lift through the armpits, press your thigh bones into your legs. Pause the motion. Draw your left knee down towards the mat, and then step your left foot forward. Drop your right knee down, and we'll come into low lunge. Bring both hands to that left thigh, lift the chest. Find your stability. Make sure your left foot is towards the left edge of your mat. Don't let it come to the center. Shoulders relaxed. We're going to go into crescent 4 times, and then we'll be sweeping the arms forward. So 1 arm or both. Up, ribcage up, crescent, and then exhale, reach forward. Use your Ujjayi breath. Inhale, sip through the straw. Exhale, fog the mirror. Inhale, ribcage up, baby back bend. Exhale, forward. Last one. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, reach forward. Hands back to the thigh, and we're going to transition to our side plank. So both hands down. Bring the knee back onto the mat. Spread your hands wide. Take your right leg back. Drop the heel. And now kick your left foot off towards the left edge of your mat, creating that small diagonal orientation of the lower left leg. Separate your fingers wide on that left hand and lift your right arm up to the sky. Keep lifting through that left shoulder. Breathe. We're adding that motion, so draw that arm that's in the sky forward towards your head and then up and around. Second time, big motion. Reverse the direction backwards, and 1 more. Breathe. And now keep lifting up through that left shoulder as you spiral your chest to look up at the sky. The right arm is falling behind you. Breathe, a twisting motion, but not too much. If you feel pain, back it off. This should feel like a stretch and a rotation, nothing painful. Last breath cycle. And spiral the hand back to the mat, knee to the mat. A brief child's pose. Roll out those wrists. And we are going to transition to a seated pose. So push your chest up off the mat, move your knee pad out of the way, send your legs forward. Now that I'm not upside down, I can put my glasses back on. I can see you all. Move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones and come into a cross-legged pose with your right leg in front. So in reflexology of the feet, all of the portions of the feet are connected through an energy source to our chakras. And the portion of the foot that's connected to the throat chakra is the ball of the foot. So take your index fingers to the ball of the foot and just give it a little massage. connect through that energy source to the throat chakra. Using both thumbs and index fingers to create that massaging action. Pause, move the legs so that the left leg is in front, and go ahead and create that little connection to your energy source again, using your thumbs and index fingers to massage the ball of the left foot. Breathe. Release, and now tuck both feet next to your right hip. You're not sitting on your feet, they're just off to the side. If this is uncomfortable, you can keep the top leg straight, if that's better for your knees. We're going to be going into a lateral flexion here. So sit tall, allow your right hand to rest on your right thigh, lift your left arm to the sky and start your lateral flexion, opening through the left side body. Go at your own pace. Keep that chin slightly elevated so that you have that open throat area. One more. Release, tucking your feet to the opposite side. And we'll do the same thing. Let your left hand rest on your left leg, right arm to the sky. Again, if you need that leg straight, you can straighten it out. You pick. And let's go into your lateral flexion again. One more. And release. Extend your legs forward. We're going to go into our I Dream of Genie pose here. So the goal of the I Dream of Genie pose is to have a greater range of motion in the ability to turn the head, and that is loosening up through that throat area, the connection between the cervical and the thoracic spine. Shoulders relaxed, ribcage lifted. We'll start by turning only the face. Don't move your shoulders, they're in cement. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn your face to the right. Remember the spot that you can see, and then come back to face me. We'll go into I Dream of Genie now, stacking the arms one on top of the other, shoulders relaxed. This time, do not move the head. You can look directly at your device or at your own toes, and the arms are going towards the left, as far across the body as you can get them, okay? That gives you the greatest benefit in the increase of range of motion. 10 times, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your arms, relax your shoulders, and we'll check our range of motion a second time. Inhale, exhale, turn only the face, don't move your shoulders, and hopefully find that greater motion through the throat area, the neck. Come back to face front, we'll do the other side. Shoulders relaxed, ribcage lifted. Inhale, exhale, turn your face to the left. Don't move your shoulders. Remember the spot that you can see, and then come back to face me. Stack your arms, I Dream of Genie. Shoulders relaxed, and we'll go towards the right with our arms. Don't move the head. Here we go, as far as you can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your hands, relax your shoulders, lift the ribcage. Inhale, exhale, turn your face to the left. And find that greater range of motion. Come back to face front. We're going to go into windshield wipers. So bend both knees, separate your feet about 10 to 12 inches apart. Hands come behind you, gently recline, and then just start to move those knees side to side. Keep your chin slightly elevated. Visualize that blue ball of energy. Use your Ujjayi breath here. And pause at center. Extend both legs forward. We'll go into a little seated sequence here. Draw your right foot in, going into half Lord of the Fishes. Step it across. If this is not comfortable, that's a little extra compression on the abdominal cavity. You could do half Lord of the Fishes without stepping it across, just by turning and hugging the knee into the body. Stepping it across is a deeper stretch for the outer thigh and hip. Ribcage up, shoulders down, turn and Hug the knee into your body. Breathe. And we're just going to add a little motion for the head here. I call this our portrait pose. So turn to look over your left shoulder. And now turn to look over your right shoulder. One more time each side. Turn to look over your left. Now turn to look over your right. Beautiful portrait poses, my friends. Come back to face front. And we're going to go into head to knee pose. So place the foot along the inside of that left thigh. Sit tall. Bring your hands below the left knee. Draw the elbows down and reach your nose towards your toes, keeping that throat area open. We're going to add a rotation to this pose today. So keeping your left hand on your left leg, take your right arm as if you were hugging someone right in front of you. And now start to lift your elbow up. Follow it with your gaze so your chest opens up to the side. Breathe. Use your Ujjayi breath. One more breath cycle. And spiral back down. Lift the chest back up. And we'll do those two poses on the other side. Extend forward. And we'll go into our half lord of the fishes, second side. Draw your left foot in. Option to step it across. Lift up through the rib cage. Relax the shoulders. And hug the knee into your body as you look off towards the left. Keep lifting through the rib cage. Breathe. And we'll stimulate that throat chakra again by turning the head into portrait pose. Turn, look over your right shoulder. Inhale through center and exhale, turn and look over your left. One more time each side. Inhale through center and exhale, right shoulder. Inhale through center, exhale, look over left. Come back to face front and we're going to head to knee pose. Take that left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Lift up through the rib cage. Place your hands below the right knee. Draw the elbows down and reach your nose towards your toes. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Breathe. Then we'll add the rotation, adding that openness for the front body and the stretch for the low back. Keep your right hand where it is. Take your left arm. You're hugging someone right in front of you. And now elevate that elbow. Follow it with your gaze, opening the chest. Breathe. Creating a rainbow shape over your head. If that's too much range of motion, stop where it's right for your shoulder. One more breath cycle. And spiral the body back down. Lift the chest. And we're going to go into a little quick boat sequence here. Opening the front body with boat going into reverse table. We'll do it 3 times and we'll progress each time. I'm turning sideways to you. You can remain facing forward if that's okay for you, whatever feels comfortable. This is just so you can see the side view of boat and reverse table. So bent knees, feet are touching. Hands come behind you. Pinch your shoulder blades together. I'm going to come into boat pose by lifting up both feet, keeping those shoulder blades pinched together. Boat pose, Navasana. And now lower the feet. Push your shoulder blades together, very important, and lift your bottoms up 3 inches. Baby reverse table. Release down, relax out of the pose. Second time, I'm going to keep the boat pose the same, except taking the hands off the mat. And I'm going to keep reverse table a little bit more intense by lifting the hips up higher. That's your progression for number 2. Or you can stay the same as number 1. You pick. Hands come behind you just to align. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Lift up the feet. You can stay here or add hands off the mat. Breathe. Put your hands back on the mat if you lifted them. Bring your feet down. Press firmly through the hands, pinching the shoulder blades together, and lift your hips up into a full reverse table. Look up at the ceiling. Breathe. And and lower back down, release out of the pose. Last time, this time we're going to progress it a little bit more. This time the hands are off the mat and the legs straighten. So we're making a V shape with our body, a V sit. And then when we come down with the feet, keep the feet towards the skinny end of your mat and we'll come into a reverse plank instead of reverse table. Or, by all means, keep it at number 1 or number 2. You pick. You already know what they look like. So let's start with the hands behind for alignment. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Pick up the legs. Maybe take the hands off. Maybe straighten the legs. You pick. Breathe. Feet come down. Keep them towards the skinny end of the mat if you're going into reverse table. Hands come down. Spread your hands wide. Pinch the shoulder blades together and lift up into reverse plank or reverse table. You're looking up at the ceiling. Breathe. Bend the knees, lower the hips, and release. I'm going to face you. We're going to come into a bound angle pose to stretch out after that pose. Bring the feet together as if you're opening a book. Place your hands on the outside edges of the feet and ease your body forward. You can let your elbows rest on the legs, adding a little deeper stretch. If you want to add a bind here, you could thread your arms beneath your calves and then cup the feet. That's an option. You don't have to. You can stay here, regular version of bound angle, or adding the bind. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And release that. Close the knees. We are going to finish off with some supine poses, my friends. So go ahead and lie on your backs. We're going to do supported corpse pose and fish pose. So have your prop ready, whether you want to use a cushion or a yoga block. But let's start with a bridge pose first. Slowly lower down. Plant your arms alongside your body, palms facing down. Imagine a small balloon between your knees. So your knees are not touching, but you're actually pressing on the imaginary small balloon. Let's start to tilt the pelvis. Inhale, lift your bottoms off the mat. Press your upper arms into the mat. And then exhale, lower back down. Do that a second time. Inhale, lift your bottoms up. Press the arms in. And lower back down. Last time. Inhale, arms up. And lower back down. We're going to transition here into reverse crunch and then baby plow. Baby plow is a pose that stimulates the thyroid gland in the area of the throat chakra. So extend your arms or legs, into candlestick or bent leg candlestick. You pick. Press your upper arms into the mat and lift your bottoms up just a half an inch and then right back down. Go at your own pace. I'm showing bent knee candlestick, but if you want, here it is, straight leg candlestick. To one more. Relax. Now we're going to add baby plow onto that. If you need some support, place your hands underneath your bottoms like a little shelf and come into baby plow. So start with candlestick, either straight leg or bent leg. Scoot your bottoms up so you can place your hands beneath your bottoms and then lift your bottom up using support. You can straighten the legs out. You can walk your hands for a little bit more support. Don't go too far. I'm showing a bigger plow. I want to keep it baby plow. And now we're going into bent knee shoulder stand. Bend the knees. Walk your hands all the way up to the waistband of your pants. If you can, straighten the legs, but you don't have to. You can stay in bent knee shoulder stand. We're stimulating the throat chakra here. One more breath cycle. Walk your hands down to your bottoms. Slowly lower your bottoms and lower your feet. We're going to go into supported fish now to complement that pose that we just did. So grab your cushion or your block. I'll show it both ways. Prop yourselves up on your elbows and tuck your cushion or block behind your shoulder blades. Lower your body down, and when your head comes down to the mat, make sure the head is touching the mat and your chin is pointed straight up. I'm going to show it with the block. The block will give you a little bit more extension. So if you don't want that much extension, use a cushion. Straighten your legs out, palms up into the sky, relax your shoulders, breathe, close your eyes. Visualize that blue ball of energy at your throat. Practice your Ujjayi breath, fog of the mirror. One more breath cycle. We're going to move our prop to our hips. So once again, prop yourselves on your elbows, move the block, bend your knees so you can lift your hips and tuck the block underneath your hips, and then straighten your legs back out. You can use your block, or once again, you could also do this same pose using the cushion. Palms are open to the sky. Hips are slightly higher than your throat and your heels. So we're stretching through the hip flexors and we're stimulating circulation down towards the throat. One more breath cycle. Bend your knees. Remove your prop. Lower your bottoms and hug your knees. Add a little sway here. We're going to finish with happy baby pose. After that extension of the spine, we'll complement that with a nice flexion and a stretch for the hips and low back. You don't need to look at your device here. You know what happy baby pose looks like. Flex your feet. Your feet are floating up in the air. Your knees are wide. Your feet are wide. And let the soles of your feet look up at the ceiling. Rest your hands on your shins, your ankles, your big toes, or wrap your fingers to the soles of the feet. Draw your bent knees closer to your armpits. Relax your shoulders backwards into the mat. And if you want, add a little sway. Complementing our spinal extension with flexion. Close your eyes. Breathe. Think of our first hand gesture that we called the laughter mudra. And here we are in happy baby, tying it all together, happiness and laughter. Go ahead and have a little giggle about something. And feel the energy in your throat. Do that one more time. Pause the motion. Release your arms down one at a time. Bring your feet down. And let's go into relaxation. You can stay here on your backs with your knees together. You can lengthen your legs for Shavasana, corpse pose. You could lie on your side. Whatever's comfortable to you. Make sure you're comfortable. Close your eyes. Survey your body. Practice your Ujjayi breath again. Feel that air movement in your throat. Visualize that blue ball of energy at your throat chakra. Remember, we talked about the characteristics of the throat chakra: communication, expression, and speaking the truth. Take one more breath cycle. And let's transition to a seated pose. Either doing one sit-up or rolling to your side to come to a seated pose. My quote today is from Oprah Winfrey, and she wrote about speaking the truth. She wrote that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool that we all have. It's in everybody's toolbox that we can always speak the truth, my friends. And think about how powerful it is to speak the truth. You get respect and admiration. Bring your hands outside your hips, in out to the sky. Let your thumbs touch your mind, your spirit, breath in your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today on our yoga practice that focused on the throat chakra. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, keep breathing. See you next time.